Happy Monday and welcome to Sciatica Live. Today we're going to talk about a 51-year-old female that claims we saved her life. It's kind of a stretch, but I want you to hear the story. Every story that we tell is designed to give you a little bit more information. And I've heard from 3 people since Friday that we are, for the first time, giving people hope. I thought that's interesting. Our goal is to educate you. Our goal is to help you better understand about outcomes. Patient-reported outcomes. That's how we need to start making medical decisions. What's the benefit of the treatment? That's the outcome. Patient-reported data is where the patient says, I feel better or I feel worse. Okay, that's the data. It's not me saying, oh, the patients were better. Okay, that's the patient saying, I'm better. So it's very, very, very important. So we're going to do this. But by doing this now, we're helping people at least better understand that there are options for their problems, that they don't have to live the rest of their life, or worse, have the problems continue to take them down a path of destruction, which is what brings up this story today. This is case study 204, and we're up to 635, and we're going for 1,000 by the end of the year. So, 51-year-old female. Matter of fact, her link is either right above or right below if you want to watch her video and have her tell her story. And you may get a tear in your eye, because it happens. 51-year-old female, back pain, leg pain. So she had back pain and she had sciatica, and she had it for 28 years. Had it for a long time. Before she came to see us, she saw many chiropractors, but the statement she made to me was when she saw her chiropractors, very often she would feel better after the treatment. Kind of come and go, but she could live her life. It got to a certain point where one day it got so bad that the chiropractor couldn't help her anymore. So she went to a surgeon. I think she and her chiropractor talked about it, and she decided to go to the surgeon. And for her problem, the surgery of choice was a fusion. Now, fusions tend to be the most advanced type and aggressive, invasive surgery you can get on your spine. And there are consequences that come with the surgery. So she had the surgery, obviously had the MRI ahead of time, and she was taking narcotics, both before the surgery and, more importantly, after the surgery, because she had the surgery and she was better for a while, and then the surgery failed. Fusions can fail, laminectomies can fail, discectomies can fail, failed back surgery syndrome. In this case, it was failed fusion surgery. She was taking narcotics. Now, it got to the point where she was taking 10 different medicines, but taking 10 narcotic pills a day, to the point where it was consuming her. And narcotics, as we know, are highly addictive. And one of the things I'd mentioned in one of my other videos was 70% of our patients, 68%, before they come to see us are taking narcotics. Okay, I saw it just on the news like 2 days ago. I'll talk about the fusion in a minute. About the increase in death as a result of narcotics. 33,000 people died in 2015, so every year more people are dying, but 33,000 people died from narcotics, from opioids. 13,000 of those were considered heroin, and the other 20,000 are pain-prescribed narcotics for a pain syndrome. In her case, she had back pain. And typically, a typical year, there's 13,000 gun deaths and 32,000 traffic deaths. So opioids has now surpassed both those as one of the more common forms of death. Okay, highly, highly addictive. I don't want to talk too long about that, but this is important because it's an option for some people for their back pain, and the outcomes in some cases can be fatal. Okay, that's the narcotic rant. Narcotics are not good. We all know that. So in the case of our patient, she had a fusion, and what they do with a fusion is they insert metal screws and rods into the vertebrae, and very often what they do is they open up the space and then they put the screws in there and then they fuse it together. So she had the fusion. Again, it's the most invasive type of surgery, the most complicated, and typically takes the longest to rehab. Okay? But we also know very specifically when you have a fusion, the disc above and the disc below start to break down rapidly, which then typically is what causes you the failed back, because now that the pain is spreading up and down the spine. So she came into our clinic. She came into our clinic post-fusion failed surgery. And she was taking 10 pills a day, 10 narcotics, but she was taking other things as well. And when she came in, we put her through our 9-step process. And we have a proprietary functional disc evaluation where we identify exactly what's causing her pain. And she had sciatica. So we put her through the program, and what we found was she had 4 of the 5. We've talked about this. There's a video, and the link will be, we'll put the link on this page so you can find it. She had a herniated disc, a bulging disc, spinal stenosis, degenerated disc, all causing her sciatica, the pain down the leg. Back pain and pain that went down her leg. Now I'm going to go through these just quickly. I know you've seen this before, but the herniated disc is where the nucleus pushes onto the spinal nerves. It's all about the pinching of the nerve. Okay, the bulging disc, which is what's right here, is a smaller sort of version of the herniated disc and more broad-based. Bulging disc pushes into the spinal canal, pinches the nerve. Hernia disc, and we talked about she had the hernia disc. She also had the stenosis, which is the narrowing, which is consistent with having post-failed back surgery syndrome in this area right here. So she had the thickening in that area, but she also had the degenerated disc that was pinching a nerve. I don't want to talk too much about that. We've gone through that before. So when she started our therapy, her back pain was a 10. And we score back pain from 0 to 10. 10 is absolutely the most severe. And this was with her taking very high dosage of narcotics. And they weren't helping her situation. Her Oswestry Disability Index, which is a 10-question questionnaire that helps us identify the level of disability that is the result of the pain. And her disability index was a 50, and that's scored in 5 different categories. 0 to 20, 21 to 40, minimal disability. Our goal is always to get the patient to the minimal disability area. We want to get you below a 20. That is our goal, is to get you below 20. 21 to 40 is moderate. 41 to 60 is severe. She was in the severe category. And the one thing that we know, and it's obvious in her case, she already had surgery once, but what we know is anytime a patient is above a 40 for an extended period of time, typically they'll do surgery. So she was post-surgery the first time, and she was at a 50, and her thoughts in her mind were, I had the surgery once, it worked, and then it failed, and it failed so miserably that she couldn't take the pain. And when I say we saved her life, and you can watch her video, the pain was so bad and consumed her so much that she wanted to end her life. When pain can get that bad, you can reach a point where you can't function and it consumes you emotionally. Now I know that it's not common, but at the same time it's not uncommon that patients decide that they can't take it anymore. And she couldn't take it anymore, and she had lost all hope. And that's the key to our story today. And it might be our new key as we move forward, that we want to give you hope. When you have reached the end of your rope and despair, there is hope. And the hope is that we have a different option for you. We don't use drugs. We don't use surgery. Okay? It's different than chiropractic. It's different than physical therapy. It's advanced physical therapy where we take pressure off the disc. We take a little bit of pressure off, and then we have you do exercises. And we make sure all the vertebrae are moving. And then we work with all the muscles to hold it in place. It's very, very, very effective when all other strategies have failed. It's about outcome. What is the outcome? Again, this is outcome case 204 or whatever it happened to be. We've got 635. We don't just have one. We've got a whole binder full of them. And we're going to have 3 binders by the end of by the spring. So she was in this category, but I know that she had gone back to see her surgeon. He's like, well, maybe we should do another one. She didn't want it anymore. So it got to the point where it was so bad she couldn't take it anymore. Now I know that I read recently that George Clooney also had reached a point in his life where he wasn't sure if he could take it anymore either. And he considered ending his own life. Okay? It's in the, it's documented. So she was a 50 to 60, 50. So she was in the zone, 50, after our treatment. So she came in, went through the program, took the pressure off the disc, did the exercises, okay, 52 treatments. That's kind of a lot. Our average is maybe 36, so she had a lot. At the end of our therapy, her back pain was a 1, her sciatica was a 1, and her oswestry disability index was a 4. Again, the ODI, our goal is to get it under a 20. So we got her down to a 4. Now we did a follow-up 3.5 years later. And with that follow-up, our goal was to identify how's the back pain doing. Her back pain was a 1, and her oswestry is actually a 2. So she had continued to improve after our therapy, and this is 3.5 years later. I get this question a lot. If I get the therapy, how long does it last? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Well, I tell you what, we just followed up 3.5 years after she came into our therapy, and she's doing better. And I tell you, she's not taking any of the narcotics. She was taking Lyrica. She's not taking any of that. She's eliminated all the medicine from her life, okay, because she was better. So what do we know? Failed back surgery syndrome. Had 4 of the 5 reasons of sciatica. Taking handfuls of narcotics on a daily basis to try to eliminate her pain. Pushed her over the edge. Considered killing herself. It's pretty severe. Came in to see us, got better, and she's living an active, normal, functional life. That's the goal. The goal is to give you hope. Okay, I have a slide on here that somebody asked a question, do herniated discs get better? One of the problems that this patient had was a herniated disc, and herniated discs do get better. But we're going to talk about that tomorrow. That's going to be our topic for tomorrow. Okay? So, having said all that, I'm done. If you like what you're hearing, like us, like our Facebook page, and it'll tell you when we're going live. We're going to try to go live minimum once a day, 2, maybe 3, whatever we can. And subscribe to our YouTube videos. They'll also alert you to when we go live. We try to go live once a day. So if you don't like our stuff, like our page and subscribe to our YouTube page. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Be safe. Thank you.